Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Morgan, and I'm here with you today to talk to you about veganism. Today I have 10 vegan questions that I've heard from both subscribers, from people who follow me on Instagram, from people in my life, from people who like to intrude into my life by asking me questions as soon as they hear that I'm vegan. And there's 10 questions that I thought were really solid, and I will be answering in this video. I'm coming up upon my 1-year veganism anniversary. I don't know when exactly that date is, but I believe that I started my vegan journey like the end of January, like 1st of February. So maybe I'll just say that it's the 1st of February, but I'm pretty sure I started in January. But that will be for another video, and I'm going to talk about my process of how I became vegan in another video. So to get into it, let's start. I have them all written down in a notebook here, and we in it. So 1, how do you feel about pescatarians? So I was a pescatarian at one point, and while I think that it is one way to go, because you are cutting out a lot of other animal products or animal meat products, looking back on my time as a pescatarian, I realized that it was very unnecessary, and it still causes a lot of cruelty. And I think that my mindset back in the day was, fish, they have so many eggs that they release in one go, and they don't really think, they're not very smart, and I don't really know how I feel about them. I just didn't have an emotional connection to them. And I realized how wrong that was, because they're all living creatures and they die through suffocation, and the global impact that they have that we've caused by overfishing and causing dead zones in the sea is something that, I never want to support. And I'm frustrated that there was a time when I believed that other animals were more important. So my view on pescatarians is that if you're going to go vegetarian, just go vegetarian. If you do need to take baby steps by like cutting out one product, like cutting out beef and cutting out chicken and cutting out, you do you. Whatever gets you to the end goal. But trust me, going vegetarian and going vegan isn't hard. It's not difficult, and you can totally do it. And I'm saying going vegetarian, and while being vegetarian cuts out a lot of cruelty, veganism, I think, is the way to go, but you can take baby steps. I'm not one of those people who's like, you can't take baby steps, because I know vegans like that, and they are just very passionate about their cause, and everyone has their own way to go about things. So question number 2 is, how do I cut out meat in a family of meat eaters? So I'm 1 in 5, not siblings, just we have 5 in the family, and I'm the only vegan was the only vegetarian. I was the only one with a different diet. My sister actually is just starting her vegetarian journey as of today, I think, so we'll see how that goes, and I'm very proud of her. So how do I cut out meat in a family of meat eaters? Everyone's different. And also the third question is, and how do I tell my family that I want to go vegan or vegetarian? And in this case, I'm just gonna say vegetarian, as I'll explain both sides, as both are kind of difficult to do sometimes, depending on the family. So to tackle the first part of that question, is how do I cut out meat in a family of meat eaters, is maybe cook your own meals, or offer different meal ideas for the night. If your mom or dad or any guardian, if you live under them and they are cooking for a holiday, and you usually help with that, maybe offer to make a vegetarian, vegan, I would say there's always a vegetarian thing at the table, so make a vegan meal. I'm sorry, I'm trying to tackle this by both the vegetarian and vegan standards, so it's a little difficult. If you're a vegan, I cook my own meals for holidays. I cook my own breakfasts and lunches and sometimes dinners, but my mom is very sweet and will try to make something for me a lot of the time. But since I'm usually away from home, I'm usually cooking my own meals. If you're with your family, for cooking dinners, you know, there's so many amazing options and a variety of different palettes to present to your parents. So, yeah. So by cutting out meat in front of in a family of meat eaters is just stop eating the meat, or stop eating the dairy and stop eating the cheese and bringing in your own supplements and taking the responsibility of cooking your own versions of meals if you're whoever usually does the cooking does not really know what to do for you. And how to tell them about it. I told somebody else when I was on Instagram Live that one of the best things to do is to sit and have a informative and respectful conversation with them. So if you want to talk to your parents about going vegan and you don't know how to tell them, make up a presentation. List out all of the facts that you learned about if you want to become vegan because of animal cruelty. Maybe show them a video of animal cruelty. Show them or tell them from the heart why you feel like it's cruel, and tell them that you don't wish to be consuming these animals that you find to be adorable, that you find to be intelligent, etc. If you find that you want to go vegan for animals and also the environment, talk about the animal side of things, the animal cruelty side of things, and also talk about the environment and the environmental impact, and discuss, I don't know, methane that comes from cows, how like 70% of the land in the world goes towards animal agriculture. Talk to them about facts that you've looked up so they know that you're making an informed decision, that you are talking to them in a respectful manner so they'll be more reciprocative. I fused out. Reciprocal? Okay, whatever. Sorry, I'm having a moment. And I think that, also if you're going to be doing either animal cruelty, if you're doing the environment, or if you're doing health. If you feel that it's also for health standards, put in statistics about health standards. If you want to do all three categories, I say that's the best way to go. With my parents, they were very understanding when I told them I want to go vegetarian for the first time. And they were very understanding when I said I want to go vegan, because I've also been talking to them about it, and they knew that I was very passionate about animals. So they understood quite well. I'm sorry I'm rambling a lot. But, okay. Question number 4. So yeah, how do I tell them about it? Would generally be sit and have an informed discussion. And if they're like not under my roof, that means just you can make a meal, you eat maybe what they prepare you, and then when you're out and about on your own, hanging out with friends, that's when you can make the choices to eat vegan and eat the way that you want to eat. And also keep trying. Maybe they say no, but then keep bringing it up every month and talking to them every month about it, or keep discussing it at the table in a kind manner, and you might wear them down just enough. For question 4, I was asked to make a $50 grocery list for a vegan student, and I'm actually going to make a whole video on how to ball on a budget. As a college student, I understand the struggle, but for right now, I'll just tell you some staples that are pretty easy for a vegan student, and this may not be waste-free, but if you're just trying to get by on a vegan budget, a vegan diet, here are just some pointers. So potatoes are great, they're cheap. Spaghetti and rice, so this is for like bases for your meals. So for lunch, I would sometimes have potatoes, hummus, and sometimes if I bought fresh spinach, I would saute it and put it on top, and that would be like my big meal for lunch. I would have like maybe 2 or 3 potatoes, and you can make fries out of them. You can make so much stuff with potatoes. Rice, you can make curry. Curry is such an easy, cheap meal to make, that will last you like every dinner. I would sometimes make curry and then eat it every day for dinner. Spaghetti, you can do whatever the hell you want with the noodles. There's beans are usually really cheap. You could get them for like $1 for a can if you don't want dried beans. There's also, you could get for like $1 to maybe $2 tops for a big bag of frozen vegetables that I usually just saute. Some people just steam them. I saute them and then I will add them in my curries or in a stir fry and something very simple like that. That will last me a while. So frozen veggies, potatoes, noodles, rice. I say splurge on nutritional yeast. But that will come in another question towards the end, as I think that nutritional yeast is very important. And coconut milk. Canned coconut milk is relatively cheap. I think it's like $2. So you get a couple of those, and that's what I used to make my curries out of. But you can make so many dishes out of it and never get bored. So yes, those are my staples for when I can't use a lot of money on fresh groceries and whatnot. So number 5, tips for going out to eat at places that don't have vegan specific food. So you can, basically now everywhere has a vegan option, but you might have to ask. That's the thing. So if you're going to, let's say, Chipotle, or you're going to a Mexican food place, you can ask them, hey, can I get that veggie burrito, but with no cheese, no sour cream, and maybe extra guac? Can you put extra guac on there? And usually they're very sweet, and they're always like, yeah, that's fine. If you're going Italian, and maybe you can ask for spaghetti and veggies, sometimes you have to make custom orders and say, like, hold the cheese on this, this, and this. But I've found it to be fairly easy, especially in the US, to find vegan meals. There's an app that's wonderful called Happy Cow, and you could just go in and you type in where you are. So you put in your location, and it will tell you all of the vegan-friendly restaurants that have stuff on the menu for you. But you can always call ahead and ask a restaurant if they have anything that they could prepare for you, or if there's anything on the menu that could be made vegan or is vegan. So it's very easy. And then if you're vegetarian, basically there's so many options for you. But I've found as a vegan, it's pretty easy to go out and have a meal with your family and not feel like the person sitting there only eating fries while everyone else is having a huge meal. There's usually something you can have. If not, and you're going to a place and you know there's nothing there for you, eat something beforehand. Try and call them again and see if they could make anything for you. And that's it. Then try to eat whatever's there. Fill up on bread. So I say so and an way too often. 2018 resolution. Also, happy 2018. Happy New Year. 6, protein. Protein. This question, where to get your protein from, is probably the most annoying question that I've ever gotten as a vegan. I've never had a protein issue. I don't have a protein issue. I'm not deficient. I'm fine. I'm thriving. I go to the gym. I'm doing great. But you could get protein from vegetables. You could get protein from basically anything that you eat. And veggies have a great source of protein. You can eat soy-based things that have protein if you want to have soy. Some people don't want to have soy. You don't get all your proteins from meat and animal products. It's just a myth. I don't need to take supplements for it. It's just easy. It's easy to get your protein. I don't understand. Beans. Duh. It's so easy. Going on. 7, is it pricey? Everyone. So a lot of people are like, veganism. I keep playing this with this one piece of hair. I'm sorry. Veganism is expensive. Veganism is this. Veganism is that. And while sometimes going out to eat at vegan restaurants could be pricey, going to places that are organic and buying organic only could be pricey. My staples are not pricey, so I don't spend too much money on food. There are certain things that I like to have that could rack up in price. Like any ingredient, but it doesn't cater to just vegans. It caters to everyone and applies to everyone. If you wanted a certain ingredient that's only in a certain store, you might have to spend an extra amount of money. And some supplements, like meat substitutes, I should say, could be a little pricey, but buying the actual meat alternative is usually more expensive. So that's how I look at things. It's not, I really think that you spend less money. And someone came up to me and they switched to a vegan diet for only a week, and they said that they spent a lot less money on foods. So the more you know. 8, how to be vegan on the go or when you're having a lazy night. So veganism on the go is pretty easy. Also, if you have a Chipotle near you, you can eat vegan at Chipotle. So easy. Their sofritos are delicious. Sofritos? I don't go to Chipotle that much, but it's good. And so that's always an easy thing. There's so many. I'm trying to think of, I think a vegan, you can eat vegan at Taco Bell. I'm just saying, it's something easy. You can eat vegan there. If you're having a lazy night, there's vegan ice cream. If you're on the go, if I travel a lot from school to home, and on the way at the rest stops, I can always find something vegan to eat. Fast food places usually have something. You have to just Google it. Usually quick places that are make your own, kind of like a Chipotle, but there's places like that for stir fries and other products. You can find vegan or vegan. Also for vegan lazy nights, my go-to is always either pita bread or just regular toasted bread, veggie burger, spinach, and toppings. Any toppings. It could just be barbecue sauce, or I could caramelize onions and put that on top as well. So that's my go-to for a lazy night. You could do rice and beans. There's options, trust me. And if you're out and on the go, there's options, trust me. And you'll get in a rhythm of when you're out and about, knowing which places will cater to you more easily. And yeah. So the last question, I realized that I put some of these questions out of order because I don't think I counted the how do I cut out meat in a family of meat eaters and how do I tell them about it as 2 separate, but they're supposed to be 2 separate. The last one is vitamins and supplements. Do I take them? So no, I do not take any vitamins. I don't take any supplements. The only thing that I make sure that I have on at least every couple of days is nutritional yeast, as it has B12, which is something that's a little bit more difficult to get in a vegan diet if you don't take supplements or you don't eat nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast has a wonderful, nutty, cheesy flavor that you could just sprinkle on anything, pastas, veggie burgers, potatoes, you name it, just sprinkle it across. It's really tasty and gives you, I think 300% of your daily intake is in just a spoonful of nutritional yeast, I think. But it's around that amount. It's a big percent of your daily value. A lot of people, I don't take iron supplements, I don't take protein, as I said, I don't take anything. Some people do because everyone's body is different, so do what's right for you. If you are prone to being low on iron, maybe you should have a supplement. but you should be doing that on any other diet. It is not strictly for vegan diets. Okay, I know I said 10 questions, but this doesn't really have to do with veganism, but I'm gonna switch this question around so it does cater more towards veganism, and it's how do I try and start the waste-free journey when I'm young, or how do I start the vegan journey when I'm young? We talked about coming out to your family about wanting to go vegan, so that's covered, just trying to have conversation. And when you're young, you can always, when it comes to making environmental choices, I'm sorry, my hair's just really gross right here, and I keep wanting to tuck it away, and then I'm like, no, maybe I should leave it out. When it comes to making environmental choices, just making sure you're recycling, making sure you're conscious if you're going out somewhere and buying things, and seeing, okay, I could buy this, or I could save up my money for that. Everyone who has any type of income, whether it's allowance, whether it's raking leaves, whether it's a job, a part-time job, or an actual full-time job, has the ability to put their money where they align their beliefs. So maybe you can't do your grocery shopping, but you can maybe ask your parents to use reusable bags to go grocery shopping, and maybe purchase some of those grocery bags for them. So there are some things you can be doing, and if it comes to put this towards in the veganism category, maybe you can't really cook your own food yet, and maybe you can't tell your parents to cater to a vegan diet. Maybe ask them, hey, I want to learn how to make noodles. I want to learn how to make rice. I want to learn how to make this recipe that I found online. Can I do this? It's really cheap and it's really easy. And just doing things like that, and asking them, like, hey, I want to try to cook dinner tonight, and it's going to be a little different. Can I cook dinner tonight? And even if they have to sit and assist you with some things, I think that that's a good way to at least dip your toe into it, and any change is good change. So maybe doing a gift idea where you're giving your parents reusable bags, or maybe buying yourself a reusable water bottle so you never use plastic water bottles again. That's something that you can do, I think, at any age, and you'll have a little bit of an impact, and also spreading the word. So yeah, that's it. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was really lengthy, and I didn't mean for it to be this long, but here we are, about over 20 minutes in. So I hope you guys have a wonderful night, day, whatever, and yeah, bye.